Awesome.
All right. Are you ready for me to get started?
Absolutely. Do you want me to
Yep.
just welcome everyone real quick on the live stream?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey
Just
everyone, welcome to the live stream. My name is Laurel Wheeler. I'm with the Laurel Wheeler Foundation. This is our Learn to Code Tuesdays, and we're with our partners at Techopolis, Michael and Taylor. Welcome, guys. Super excited
thank
about
you.
today. Um,
Great to be here again.
A couple small housekeeping items. If you're watching us live, you're watching over on Taylor's YouTube channel. If you want to find the Laurel Wheeler Foundation, you can do so on all of social media. You can do so Facebook, X, and Instagram. LaurelWheeler Foundation is how you find me and us, and you can contact us via email as well at laurelwheelerfoundation@gmail.com. Also, subscribe obviously to Taylor's YouTube channel if you haven't done so, because she puts up a lot of awesome content. And we want to thank Techopolis Online Solutions for their partnership and for hosting this today. It's going to be super interesting. Take it away, Michael and Taylor.
All right, everybody. Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you may be. I'm Michael Dowies. I am the founder and CEO of Techopolis Online Solutions. And we thought we would come to you all today and talk about something that is very, very special to me, and that is the Shortcuts app. Um, Shortcuts are a very special thing to me because, we've had iPhones since 2007, and we've had accessible iPhones since like 2009, 2010, that time frame. But there was never really a way to automate or to run very complex tasks on an iPhone. It was you do a thing and the system, you tell the system what to do, it does it. You couldn't chain things together. You couldn't do anything specific with your phone or iPad for that matter. The Mac has always had a program called Automator, which does very similar things to shortcuts, but there's never really been that on the iPhone and iPad. Well, this little company came around called Workflow, and they built an app that let you basically complete actions on your iPhone. And what's amazing is they have some very advanced features in that app, and they're still there today. It's incredible. Um, and they've just added to it. And it went from workflow to shortcuts. Um, Workflow from its creation was a very accessible app. And the Shortcuts app has gone through its times of being accessible to not being accessible to being accessible and not being but uh, it's always been usable to some extent. And in iOS 18.4, it is usable and accessible from what I've seen as now. So um, now here's the thing with shortcuts. Every platform works a little different. So shortcuts on the iPhone works very similarly to shortcuts on iPad, but shortcuts on Mac is a different experience altogether. We're going to be covering the iPhone and how you do it on the iPad as well to an extent. I'll be showing how to do things on the iPhone, but you can apply a lot of the same techniques to the iPad. The other neat thing that works is if you create a shortcut on the iPhone, then it will transfer over to the Mac or to the iPad, um, which is very nice because you don't have to remake all of your shortcuts. They transfer through iCloud. And that makes it nice because you can take all of your creations and run them no matter what platform you're on. So if you use an iPhone, you use a Mac, you use an iPad, all of your shortcuts are going to sync. Now, The difference is on Mac, they may work differently, and the same actions may not work the same way, but they will sync over and you can see your shortcuts on all of your platforms. Now, you may be wondering, okay, how does this have to do with code? Well, the truth is, shortcuts are the same thing as coding. Um, and the reason why I say that is you're doing the same techniques to create a shortcut as you are for writing code. So you guys have been doing the free code camp lessons, which tells you do one thing, then the next, then the next. Okay. That is exactly what you're doing with a shortcut. You're basically chaining things together to come up with what you're trying to do with the shortcut. And it makes it so easy because for visual users, you drag and drop. And for voiceover users, you can just double tap to add actions. So, what are actions? Actions for shortcuts are basically where we can say do one thing or do another thing and do another thing. So, an action might be to speak text out loud. Yes, there is an action to do that. So, um, a basic shortcut may be an automation. So, here's something you can do with a shortcut. You can say, if my battery gets below 5%, speak out loud, hey, you may want to charge your battery. Or when your phone gets to 100% power, say, battery charging complete. You can do things like at a certain time of day, change your phone to dark mode. And then in the morning, change it back to light mode at a certain time in the morning. You could even make that be based on sunrise and sunset, which is really neat. Uh, then you could even do advanced things with shortcuts. So I had a script that could restart my web server based on a shortcut, and all of your shortcuts you can even use with um, SIRI and say, "Hey, S lady," or however you refer to it. Um, you know, you do this shortcut. Um, And what that lets you do is it allows you to take all of your automations that you normally have to click on or tap on with the Shortcuts app and add them to Siri. And it makes it so nice just being able to automate your phone or your iPad um, with these actions. Again, how is this related to code? It is the building, shortcuts are the building blocks that can be used to get started with programming. Because if you can learn the basics of shortcuts, then you can learn how coding works. And for example, there is an action to put text on the screen. So you could say hello world, and it'll bring up a dialogue that says hello world. Okay. You can tell it to speak. You can um, tell it to do any number of things. You can tell it to uh, even play a sound. If you have a sound on your phone, you can have it play that sound. You could send a notification. So you could create a shortcut, okay, uh, that says random quote of the day. And you can say at a certain time of the day, send a push notification and use some JavaScript to generate random quotes or pull a random quote from a web server. All of this is possible with the Shortcuts app. there really is not much of a limitation with this thing. Um, you can run shortcuts on your Apple Watch. One of my favorite shortcuts, I have all of the Echo smart devices here in my apartment. But one of the things that I'm trying to do is replicate all of those features with my phone and HomePods. And so I created one of the things that I do most on my Echo devices is play my audiobook. Well, if I'm away or on my iPad or on my Mac, I could say, "Hey, S lady, play my audiobook or play my book." And it opens Audible and plays my latest book, just like as if I was on my Echo device. So, they talk about your phone and Siri not being very smart. And that's really the case. But what people don't realize is that you can customize what you can do with Siri with shortcuts. So you can make your phone, your iPad, your Mac, your watch be as smart as you want it to be with the Shortcuts app. You can even do shortcuts with the share sheet. So you can add shortcuts to the share sheet of your phone. So I could create a shortcut that would use like the OpenAI API and create my own way to describe images. I could, well, I'll give you an example. I just made a shortcut that I can use the action button on my iPhone and have it uh, tell me all the text that's on a screen. So this has now allowed me to read all of the Marvel Comics books that are in the Marvel Unlimited app just by pressing a button on my phone. It takes a screenshot, analyzes the text, and reads it out loud with speech. That is the power of shortcuts. Um, so I would like to do a demo of the Shortcuts app, but I want to see if you guys have any questions or thoughts about this before we go on.
Michael, we have no chat messages thus far, and you've been given screen sharing permissions.
Okay. Any thoughts here in the Zoom? Okay. Um, okay, let's see. Let's see what we're able to do. And oh, we have a big group here on Zoom. That's awesome. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen, and we will turn on voiceover and let's see what we're able to do with that. Okay, I should be sharing. Can somebody tell me if voiceover is coming through?
I don't hear any voiceover audio yet.
I don't hear
Okay,
any voice.
so I may have to do something a little different. Hang on just one moment.
No problem.
Okay. Um, they've broken this. It used to be where we could do. Okay. Is voiceover coming through now?
Do something, and I heard something, but I don't know if that was voiceover or not.
Yeah, I
I
don't
can't
think
hear
it
it.
is though.
I don't hear anything yet.
Okay, it's probably noise. So let's see.
Sorry about that, Michael.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to come in on my computer to be able to share my phone. So I will come back in the meeting in just a moment.
No problem. This is a really good example right now, guys, of sometimes technology doesn't always cooperate, and you know what? Those of us who are techies and who are really determined will find a way and work our way around a technical issue. We know something about that, don't we, Taylor? We had a few of those this morning, but
Yep,
we
and by
will.
the way, I am updating the Facebook page. So because I couldn't delete your post, but I'm updating it. So
I'm also sharing, working on sharing this and pushing this out in a different
okay.
post on my own page, and I'm gonna cross post it to some other places and share your YouTube link directly. So,
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, while I have a moment real quick, I cannot forget to say that if you want to learn more about shortcuts, Michael's coming out with a course and it's actually available for pre-order today. So you guys should go get it. And you can get all of our courses, Techopolis All Access, 50% off code Taylor Aren't YouTube. It's in the description, so if you forget. Taylor Aren't YouTube, all one word. You can check Techopolis All Access. Again, all the links are in the YouTube description. I'll put them in the Zoom chat as well. But I just want to make sure while I had a moment that you guys knew that if you want to learn more about this subject, you guys can do that. And if you want, if you need help affording the All Access, talk to Laurel. She'll be able to get you sorted out.
absolutely. And you know what, guys? Like, I know that sometimes it can be frustrating or annoying to see, like, experience, tech issues. We all have them sometimes. But this is just a really good example. It happens to even the best of us. And we all have to be flexible, get creative, and work around it. So just know if you ever have technology issues, sometimes it's you, sometimes it's not you, it's the tech, and we all, even those of us who are great at technology, are not immune, are we, Taylor?
No, and the other thing too is Michael made an amazing shortcut the other day that you guys have to check out. He's not going to probably talk about it. Maybe he will, but I'm telling you guys right now. So he loved Marvel Comics. And these things are like all images. They're very inaccessible. And Michael has low vision. So, a lot of the times reading those causes eye strain. He made a shortcut that will literally take a screenshot of the page and then extract the text out of it. He read 2 comic books the other day.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I'm telling you, these shortcuts are very powerful.
Hey, while we have a moment, we do have some free
Yeah.
Code Camp users who are stuck on something.
Okay. Let's
So
answer
while we're
those questions
waiting,
real quick.
so guys, just so that you know, we're doing something different from normal. We're discussing how to make shortcuts on the iPhone and iOS app. But for those who are watching on YouTube or who will be watching this later, we normally go through and do free code camp and deep dives into HTML, CSS, and other coding every Tuesday. So come join us for that if you don't already. So while we're waiting for Michael to come back in, let's tackle one of those questions, Taylor. It's in the Zoom chat.
Maybe she'll do it anyway. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Yeah.
Go for
Hold
it.
on, Laurel. I'm currently
You're
doing
good.
something. If you want to take it, I'm currently
Um,
doing something. But if you can
What?
help her, I'll try to help what I can.
Awesome. All right, Sophia, so you're stuck on number 17.
Yeah, me and Jackson, because we're trying to figure it out. And basically, number 17 is saying they want us to add a link to the image, something like that.
All right, stand by. Let me see if I can help you figure that out.
What? Okay. Oh yeah, it says we have to turn the image into a link.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get the correct code, and I'm going to copy it into the chat. So you're basically making the image a clickable link, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second. All right. Let me just look at this real fast.
Jackson, do you have your mic turned on or no?
No, but I can still hear you.
Okay.
Trying to do it, Jackson, are you stuck on it?
Yeah, we're both getting help from the same one right now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna send the
Oh, yeah.
to the chat and
Let me get over here.
Both on the same thing.
Let me post this in the chat and we'll see if it works.
No, but tell me what.
I did some over the weekend.
Ah, that's what you did.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And y'all on the same thing, that makes it better, okay?
Okay, I sent you what I think is going to be the correct code.
I know. Okay.
And try to copy that and see if it works, and let me know if it does.
Okay.
If it does, I will read it out and explain it for everybody who's listening. But I don't want to read out the wrong answer, you know?
It's a pretty cool website, Laura.
Hmm?
It's a pretty cool website. I like it.
It's a very cool website, and for those who are watching, and Michael's back. So Michael, we took a moment to answer a free code camp question since we had some people that had one. So yeah.
I can't wait.
All right, let me go ahead and mute so y'all can discuss what y'all discussing.
Okay, let's see. Did that work, Sophia?
They won't let you.
Yeah, I haven't put it in yet. We're still working it out. Hold on.
Okay. Just let me know. I think we are waiting for Michael to get back in here.
All right. So, Lior,
Yeah.
okay, so Jackson wants you to actually go over it because he wants to know what exactly he's typing, so that way he knows for future reference, like how to really go about it. Because even though you sent the copy into the chat, we still want to know like really
You're good.
about
Here,
it.
let me get over there and I will. 1 second, I'll get over there and then I will.
Yeah, I'm logged in. It's just on a different screen.
Yeah, he's logged in. He's just not
Okay.
not saying anything. So I'm just talking for us.
Let me. Okay. So essentially, what you're doing is you're having to wrap the anchor element around the image element, and then you're having to also specify the destination link, the href, like the destination link, and then you're also having to tag the img tag and all of the attributes too. So let me read the piece of code. What it seems to want is, okay, hold on. Oh, come on, get to the beginning so I can read this. Hold on. We're making the image a clickable link, so I am scrolling where I can read you the. Okay, apparently the code that it wants is going to be less than /a greater than. No, read me this. Sorry, I'm fighting with my screen reader. No, let me start at the beginning. Oh my gosh. So annoying.
All right, what was the question,
Oh,
Jackson?
okay, hold on. Oh, okay, there we go. I'm fighting. I'm fighting it. Read. I'm trying to get it to read me by character, and it's not cooperating with me. Technology today, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
No, she can't hear you. It's not on.
I'm trying to read this thing.
All right, my audio's unmuted now. Can you hear
There
me?
you
Now
go.
it's on.
All right, I need to know what the difference is between putting the image in the link or the link in the image. I don't know which one comes first. I don't know if I should close it or if I should keep it
Okay.
in. Like I've never done that before. I've never put two things together like that, so it's hard for me to know.
Okay.
Your image should go in the link.
There you go.
So don't put the less /a greater until the image is done too, right?
That's correct.
But what link does it want me to put the image on? It doesn't tell me what link. There's so many links on here. How do I? It's the step 17. The directions don't say what link to put. It just says put it around the existing link, but it doesn't. Which one? There's so many of them.
I don't have that up. Do you have that up, Laurel?
Yeah, but I don't know. This is not my. Let me try to. I don't know. Hold on. What are we? I'm just trying to multitask and it's not going very well for me. What are we trying to?
Like,
What
are
are
we
we doing?
supposed to just find our own image and try to put that in there? Like, I don't get it.
They're supposed to use that cat. They're supposed to use the cat photo image, but I don't know. There's so many links that we've already used. I don't know which one it wants me to actually turn into a clickable link, and where's the clickable
Okay.
link supposed to
I
go?
put the piece of code in the chat and I can read it out if you want me to.
I think what it wants you to do is to put the freecatphoto.com website's link there so that when you click that picture, it takes you to that website.
Oh, So I'm supposed to put a link around it.
Yeah,
So-
so you start the anchor tag and you first put that link to which you should be taken when you click on that photo. Then you come up with the image tag and close the anchor tag.
So I close the
Um,
image. Do I close the image tag first and then the anchor tag after that? Since the image was within the anchor, I assume
yeah,
I
everything's going to be inside the anchor. You have so you do the anchor tag. So it's less than a space href equals quotation mark, and then you've got the free code camp dot com greater than, and then you have less than img. You have the image.src link after that, which is cdn.freecodecamp.org/ that whole curriculum / cat photo app thing. And then that piece ends with the .jpg. Then you have the whole alt text piece of the code, and then you close the anchor. So I'm not very good at explaining that, but that is
Yeah, I can try that now. Thank you.
yeah.
May I simplify it for you?
Go for it. I'm not the best at explaining this, and I'm like also trying to do more than one
Okay.
thing.
Okay, it's like this. When you want to do a clickable link, you have to remember this sequence. First, you open the anchor, you put the link that needs to be clicked for you to go to when you click on that photo. So that is what is in the href reference. And within quotes, you put that link. So that's the freecodecamp.org/cat photo app. And then you close the quotes and then you go for the imgsrc tag where you refer to the link from which the picture that comes for the clickable part gets to. So then after that you close the anchor tag. So first it's the link to which the picture refers, and then the picture, because you don't have a direct way of getting the picture into the HTML, you refer to a link where the kind of system, the app can pick up the picture. So that is the most confusing part here, because you have two links. One link is for the clickable link, and the other is for the picture. So first the clickable link, then the picture. That's easy for you to remember.
Yes, thank you. And I just put a space and then open up the image tag after I put the link in.
Yeah, that's right. So when you put the image tag, there also you have to put another link again that goes to this curricular, and that curriculum refers to the picture that comes up when someone who can see it gets to the application. They see a picture and they have to click on that picture. So this picture is referred to in the second link.
Okay,
Is that
thank.
clear?
Yes, I understand now. I'm gonna put this together and see what happens.
Sure.
Perfect. Michael and
And
Taylor, are we ready to keep going with shortcuts? I think they're still there. I don't think we've lost them. Try that, Jackson and Sophia, and let us know if.
I think Michael is back.
Yeah, I think so. I see him. I don't hear you, but I see you.
Michael, you are muted if you're trying to talk.
Yeah, I was talking and did not realize that.
There you go.
So,
now I hear
there we
you.
go.
There you
Okay,
go.
I should be back now. I'm trying to share my phone screen from Zoom, so we will see if this works.
Perfect.
It should
And
work. I've done this before.
Jackson or Sophia, if that piece of coding and that explanation works for you, throw it in the chat and let us know. And if it doesn't, throw it in the chat and ask, and we'll pause and clarify. But while you guys work on that, we will go back to shortcuts on iOS and in iPhone and learning how to make the most out of our shortcuts app. And for those who came here for the shortcuts app, if you want to know more about how we do free code camp and learn decoding every other Tuesday, well, come join us on the YouTube channel or on Zoom. And but yeah, let's hand it back over to Michael.
All right.
Michael, I see the screen. I'm not sure if I hear sound.
I have not played any sound yet, so let's see if this doubles or not. So let's see what happens here.
Voiceover on. Shortcuts.
There you go.
Are you hearing double sound or no?
No.
Great. Fantastic. I'm not using
I've
headphones
done
at
this
all.
before and it works great. So
Well,
I've done the thing where you share
I'm
your
not even
phone.
using headphones right now, Taylor, so that's amazing.
Oh yes, that's great. I thought you were using headphones, so I was like, I wasn't sure how that worked. So I see a whole bunch of shortcut tiles.
Yep. Okay. So I have the Shortcuts app open, and I'm just gonna browse through here real quick so you can kind of hear what the app looks like.
Select. Shortcuts. Back button.
So there's a Shortcuts back button. Let's go to that.
Edit. Button.
So there's an edit button.
Add new folder. Button.
You can create Shortcuts folders now, which is cool. They've had that for a while though.
Shortcuts. Heading. Shortcuts. Heading. Shortcuts. Heading. All shortcuts. Button. Make image from PDF page. One action. Button. Actions available.
So it jumped to the first shortcut in the list. There's a few other buttons.
Nav bar. Make image from PDF. Nav bar. Nav bar. Make image from PDF page. Read image text. 3 actions. Button.
So
Actions
there
available.
is some weirdness with the flick order. I will say that. What you can do though is you can explore by touch. That's very useful. And so we could do
Make image from PDF page. One action. Button.
so we can just drag our
Nav
finger
bar.
on the
All
screen.
shortcuts. Search.
There's
Search
a
field.
search field right below the shortcuts heading at the top.
Create shortcut. Button.
There's a create shortcut button.
Select. Button.
And a select button.
Create shortcut. All shortcuts. Search. Search field. Dictate. Button. Dictate. Button. Dictate. Button.
So it kind of gets stuck in some of the areas. So this is kind of some of the accessibility issues that they can make better. If you explore by touch, you'll be able to find things in this app a little bit easier, I think. So below the dictate and search button bars, you're going to have all your shortcuts.
Make image from PDF page. One action. But read image text. 3 actions. Button. New shortcut 33. No actions. Button.
Yeah, I've got
Actions
a lot
available.
of new shortcut items because I start a shortcut and I don't finish it, and they're just going to get left there.
Transcribe audio. 2 actions. Button. Join meeting. 1 action. Button. Get random photos. 3 actions. Button. New shortcut 32. No actions. Button. New shortcut 31. No actions. New shortcut 30. No actions. But search and mail. No actions. Button. Actions of open chat voice. 1 action.
That's
Button.
Open Chat
Actions
GPT
available.
voice. So yes, you can add Open Chat GPT voice mode into your action button.
Join next meeting. Join the next meeting. Button. Actions
Join
available.
next meeting in Zoom. So you can create that as a shortcut. I want to show you some other things real quick too that you can do. At the bottom, you have a tab bar.
Tab bar. Selected. Shortcuts. Tab. 1 of 3.
And again, you could flick through all of your shortcuts, but that would take you a long time. It's easier just to move your focus down to the bottom.
Automation. Tab. 2 of 3.
So there's the automation tab, which is 2 of 3. And at the bottom right,
Gallery. Tab. 3 of 3.
gallery. Now, the gallery is a good place to get started with shortcuts. And
Automation. Tab. Selected.
it leaves your
Gallery.
focus at the
Tab.
bottom.
3 of 3.
So I'm going to put my finger at the top.
Search. Search field. Gallery. Heading. Search. Search field. Dictate. Button. Featured. Group. Get stuff done. Heading. Get stuff done. Button. Get stuff done. Get stuff done. Group.
Ooh, there's some
Get stuff done. Get stuff done. Get stuff done. Heading. Shortcuts for accessibility. Button.
So
A screenshot of a
again,
video game with icons. Tap
I
Y.
don't know if it's. I don't remember the accessibility being this bad in the app. I wonder if Zoom is causing some tracking issues while flicking. And the weird thing is, I'm hearing Mac voiceover sounds. So that's intriguing. So your results may vary as far as what you can do in the app, but I'm hearing Mac voiceover sounds, which is interesting.
Shortcuts for accessibility. Button. A screenshot of a video game with icons. Tap Y. Get stuff done. Shortcuts for accessibility. Button. A screenshot of a video game with icons. Tap Y.
So one thing that you'll find is it says shortcuts for accessibility. That's at the top of the gallery, folks. So they have shortcuts for accessibility right at the very top.
Loading. Gallery. Back button. iPhone and iPad accessibility assistant. Button. Actions of Mac accessibility assistant. Button. Apple Watch accessibility assistant. Selected. QR your shortcuts. Button. Actions available.
So that's a shortcut that you can add that will make QR codes out of your other shortcuts, so you can run them from a QR code.
QR your Wi-Fi. Button.
QR
Actions
your Wi-Fi.
available.
Make a QR code out of your Wi-Fi information.
Batch add reminders. Button. Actions available. QR. Batch add reminders. Button. Batch add reminders.
Batch
Button.
add reminders.
Actions available. Calming sounds. Button. Actions available. Remember this. Button. Actions available. Main report. Button. Actions. Speak brush teeth routine. Button. Time tracking. Button. Action. Check in message. Button. Actions
So
available.
these are all different shortcuts under the accessibility category. The gallery is a good place to get ideas for shortcuts. It's not necessarily the place to go to, for great shortcuts, but it's a cool place to go to find shortcuts that you may want to create, that you may want to use. I found one called Say Family that I was really a big fan of. So, or Say Cheese, and then I made Say Family where it adds a countdown to Apple Shortcut. Let's go back to the Shortcuts tab.
Tab bar. Shortcuts. Tab. Selected.
So at the bottom
Shortcuts.
left.
Tab.
And I'm going to go to New Shortcut at the top right. And folks, you really do get a lot more out of your iPhone and iPad and other things if you can explore by touch and kind of know where things are.
Create shortcut. Button. Button. Nav bar. Button. New shortcut 35. Actions menu. But done. Button. Done. Button.
So
describe images. Navigation style. Grouped. Flat.
Oh, that's a lot of the problem I was having. Somehow it got to grouped navigation.
New shortcut 35. Actions menu. Done. Button. Actions. Add actions from below to create a shortcut. Search actions. Text field.
So I'm just flicking through and I could look for actions. So let's make a shortcut. Let's have the shortcut say hello world. So I'm going to do a search for speak text.
Text field. FS. P. E. A. K. Space. Speak. T. E. X. T. Search. Speak text. Text field. Clear search field. But cancel. But scripting. Button. Controls. But device. But location. Button.
And I'm just flicking through.
Media. Button. Sharing. Button. Documents. Web. But speak text.
So it came up with 3 actions. Speak text was the first action, but let's go through.
More info. Button. Dictate text. More info. Button. Make spoken audio from text.
Now, isn't that an interesting one? Make spoken audio from text. That's pretty neat, isn't it? So that lets us make spoken audio from a block of text. So let's just do speak text.
Text. Button.
I wonder what button it's landing on when it's saying just button, because I am not.
Speak text. Button.
Oh, the image the shortcut image is where it's landing on when it says button. It's if you flick right.
Speak text. Actions menu.
Text,
Button.
which is now the name of the shortcut. It does the same thing as the button text.
Done. Button. Speak text. Drag. Speak text. Show options menu. Button. Pop. Speak text. Actions available. Remove action from shortcut. Button.
So there's all these like remove action from shortcut, and we can add other actions to this. But let's see what we could do.
Speak text.
I flicked left.
Actions available.
So I can flick up and down.
Show more. Edit text. Activate. Default. Show more. Edit text.
And I flicked up until I hear edit text. Let's double tap on that. And it brought up a keyboard. I'm going to write this as some text. I don't know what's going on there. Hang on.
Speak. Text. Actions available.
It is not reading as I'm entering text. So
Activate. Show more. Edit. Text. T.
here's what they want us to do. So it's saying speak text, but we don't have any text. So that's the error issue I was having.
Done. Button. Done. Speak
So
text. Draggable. Speak. Text.
there's another action called text. So let's find that in the search field.
Search actions. Text field. Text field.
So search actions, think of Apple Maps. It's kind of a card that lives at the bottom of the screen when you're looking at your actions. So at the bottom of the screen, you can move up until you hear that search text and double tap. And then I'm going to type in the word text.
App T. E. X. T. Clear search field. Button. Cancel. Script. Controls. Device. Locate. Media. Sharing. Documents. Web. Text. More info. Button. Add text to page. More text.
So there's a lot of actions that begin with text, but text is the first action that you're going to get. So I'm going to double tap on that.
Button.
And now let's hear the actions we have in our shortcut.
Text. Actions menu. Done. Button. Speak text. Draggable. Show options menu. Button. Speak. Text. Action. Remove action from shortcut. But text. Draggable. Show options menu. Button. Pop-up button. Actions
So
available.
we have speak text, then text. Well, it's in the wrong order, right? Text needs to be before speak text so that we can tell it the text we want to speak.
Move up.
So I flicked up, and whenever I was on the speak text options menu, double tap. Okay. Now let's go enter some text.
Text. Remove action from shortcut. Text. Text field. Actions available.
So we're going to flick till we hear text field, double tap.
Text field. Is editing. Cap T.
Now it's reading what we type.
H. I. S. Space. Is I. S. Space. Is S. O. M. E. Space. Sub T. E. X. T. Remove action from short text field. Is editing. This is some text. Character
So
mode.
we
Insertion
heard that
point
says
end.
this is some text, character mode. Now, the thing that happens is because we drug this above speak text, they are not connected. So speak text does not know that that text exists. So let's see how we fix that.
Speak text. Draggable. Show option. Speak. Text. Actions available. Show more. Edit. Text. Activate. Default. Show more. Edit. Text.
So we're going to go to edit text like we did.
Remove action from shortcut. Select variable. Button. Text. Button. Ask each time. Button. Text.
So we have a keyboard again, but we also have these options above the keyboard like pick variable or text. So text is the action before the speak text. So I'm going to double tap on that text.
Text. Select variable. But speak text. Draggable. Remove action from shortcut. Button. Speak. Text. Actions available.
So now it says speak text. So that sounds normal. Okay. And so now I'm going to find the
remove action. Select variable. Text. Ask each time. Clipboard. But current date. Button. Device details. Button. Shortcut input. But done. Button.
I'm going to find the done button to get rid of that.
Done. Speak text. Draggable. Speak.
Now,
text. Actions
so
available.
we have our shortcut. We have a text action to put text in, and we have speak text to speak the text out loud. The next thing to do is run it.
Remove action from shortcut. Search actions. Text. Toolbar. Undo. Button. Redo. Dim. Info. Button. Share. Button. Run shortcut. Button.
And there we go. Also, that is if the keyboard is hidden, run shortcut is the last option on the very bottom right. So you know that that's there. So I'm going to run the shortcut.
Run. This is some
Shortcut,
text.
shortcut.
Button.
So you heard it speak in a different voice. This is some text, right? Now that was kind of slow, and it doesn't use voiceover, so that is a known quantity.
Button. Speak text. Done. Text. Draggable. Show
So
options menu. Button.
what
Pop-up button.
happens if we want to
Actions
change
available.
the speed of the text? Let's see.
Text.
So I'm going to flick until I hear more options, I think it is, or options menu for the speak text action.
Remove action. This is some text. Speak text. Speak text. Remove action from shortcut. Button. Actions. This is speak text. Draggable. Speak text. Actions available. Show more. Edit. Text. Show more.
Go to show more, and that's going to expand and show us some more options.
Remove action from shortcut. Wait until finished. Switch button. On. Rate. Grouped. Flat. 50%. Adjustable.
So that could be made a little more accessible where it has rate associated with the slider.
60%. 70%. 80%.
I've changed the rate to 80%.
Pitch. 1. Adjustable.
Pitch, leave it at 1, but you can change the pitch of the voice.
Language. Button. Language. English. United States. Button. Voice. Read. Button.
So we have it set to read. So you could pick which voice you want here as well. And I'm just going to slide my finger down to the bottom right and go to more.
Toolbar. Run shortcut.
Run shortcut,
Button.
I mean.
Run shortcut. Is text.
See,
Shortcut
80%
finished.
is pretty quick. So I can go back up here.
Speak text. 80%. Adjustable. 80%. 70%. 60%.
Then move my finger down to the bottom right.
Toolbar. Run shortcut. Button. Run shortcut. This is some text.
See, that's a bit better.
Shortcut finished.
Okay. And see, it said finished. Okay. So, do we have any questions or comments?
I have a question actually. You said about a shortcut that you have created to announce when battery level goes down a certain percentage. So, is this text and speak text something, an action that you use in announcing that whatever warning you want to come up with?
So for that, you create an automation that says when the battery level gets below a certain amount, then you're going to use an action to get the battery's power level. And then you could say, your battery is at power level. You use a variable just like we used for the text. And then you say, please charge your phone now, or whatever you want it to say. Then you have it speak text. And that will work even outside of the Shortcuts app.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is super cool, and if I remember right, Michael, there is even a shortcuts community somewhere online that people share the kinds of shortcuts they've made that we could use or learn to use or something like that. Is there?
So there's several. I've made one.
Yes, you have.
BeyondTheGallery.app, and there is a mobile app as well. And it is curated shortcuts, and we make sure that there's no malicious shortcuts in there. So it's BeyondTheGallery.app.
Yes, and people can go if you want to see pretty much different shortcuts that have been made and are accessible to make the most out of your phone and even get more out of your phone. That's a super helpful resource too. But also, man, I don't know about you guys, but I had no idea that I could do even more with the Shortcuts app. Until we started talking about it last week, and I'm just absolutely loving getting to deep dive into this and learn how to really get the most out of my phone, honestly. So, and I just got an Apple Watch, and I'll be excited about deep diving into shortcuts for that too, and all kind of stuff. So, keep going, Michael. I just wanted to interject that and point out a helpful resource that I remember you having mentioned last week.
Sure. One thing I do want to mention, and a lot of you guys have not gotten this level to this part in Free Code Camp. Shortcuts will even do programming to an extent. Um, there's a common thing in programming called an if statement, and you could say if this, do this, and if not, if that, do that. So basically, I can say, I can like say, write some text and say, if the text is this, do this thing in the shortcut. If the text is that, do this other thing or do nothing. There's even menus. So you can make it where you could pick from a menu. So technically, say you have 5 RSS feeds or 5 websites you want to get news from. You could say check daily news as the name of the shortcut and then pick from a menu, and it will you put your RSS feeds that you like, and or links to different places, and it will load the content from based on which option you pick in the menu.
That's something I'm gonna absolutely do and get out of my iPhone and maybe even my watch. I'm stoked.
There's also a basically a loop. So do a thing until there's a reason to stop doing it. But let's look at some of the actions. So we've seen a few actions, but let's look at some more. So I'm going to
Done. Button. Done. Shortcuts. Create shortcut. Button. Button. Logo other.
well, I think we're on new shortcut 34 now.
New shortcut 35. Actions
Oh,
menu.
35.
Button.
Excuse me.
Done. Button. Actions. Add actions from below to create a shortcut. Search actions. Text field. Scripting. Button.
Let's see what's under scripting.
Text field. Clear search field. Cancel. Comment. More info. Button. Show result. More info. Show alert. Button. Ask for input.
So ask for input brings up a little text field with an OK button. So you can write text and send it to the shortcut.
More info. Button. Count.
You can count upward.
More info. Control flow. Choose from menu. More info. If.
So if.
More info. Repeat.
Repeat, which is basically a loop.
More info. Repeat with each.
Repeat with each set of items.
Wait.
Wait for something to be completed.
Variables. Set variable. More info. Get variable. More info. Add the variable. More info. List. Heading. List.
So the variables, you can set a variable, get the content of a variable, or add to a variable. So that's basically if you want to store information without showing it to anybody, you can keep that private, and as the shortcut runs, or say you're loading an Apple Music playlist, you could load all the songs in the variable and then show them once it's done.
More info. Button. Choose from list. More info. Get item from list. More info. Dictionaries. Heading. Dictionary. More info. Button. Get dictionary value.
Dictionaries, think of them as like a dictionary. You have a term and a definition. This works the same way in shortcuts. This is more of like advanced programming concepts here, but it works the same way.
More info. But set dictionary value. More info. Get dictionary from input. More info. Numbers. Heading. Number.
So you can put a number.
More info. But random number.
Get a random number.
More info. Round number.
Round up or down to a number.
More info. Format number. More info. Get numbers from input. More info. Math. Heading. Calculate. More info. Calculate expression. More info. Calculate statistics. More info. Measurements. Heading. Measurement. More info. Button. Convert measurement. More info. Dates. Heading. Date. More info. Button. Format date. More info. Adjust date. More info. Get time between dates. More info. Button.
Oh, that's neat. I think that's pretty new. Get time between dates. That's neat.
Get dates from input. More info. Convert time zone. More info. Button.
Oh, I don't remember that convert time zone.
Text. Heading. Text. More info. Get text from input. More info. Show definition. More info. Get name of emoji.
See, now that's a neat shortcut idea. You can get name of emoji, so you could put I mean, VoiceOver already tells you, but if you don't use VoiceOver and you want to know the name, what an emoji is, I might actually set that up.
More info. Button. Text editing. Heading. Change case.
Change case, like convert to uppercase or lowercase.
More info. But combine text.
Combine text together.
More info. Split text. More info. Replace text. More info. Trim white space.
Wow, I don't remember some of these.
More info. Match text.
Match text, so you could search for a piece of text instead of a bigger piece of text.
More info. Get group from match text.
Don't know. I'm not sure what that is.
More info. Correct spelling.
Correct spelling. Hey, that's neat. Go through your text and correct spelling.
More info. Audio. Heading. Dictate text. More transcribe audio.
Now, I haven't gotten this to work. This is a new shortcut action called transcribe audio. I need to test it in the latest version. I think this came out in 18.4, but it will transcribe audio files into text.
More info. Speak text.
We've already played with speak text.
More info. Make spoken audio from text.
Make spoken audio from text. That will actually save spoken audio to a text file. So you can send it a Word document and make spoken audio.
More info. Translation. Heading. Detect language. More info. Translate text. More info. Items. Heading. Get name. More info. Button. Get type. More info. Button. Set name. More info. Quick look. More info. View content graph. More info. Shortcuts. Heading. Get my shortcuts.
This will get all of your shortcuts.
More info. Run shortcut. More info. Other. Heading. Get what's on screen.
Get what's on screen. This one's very useful. You know what? I should use that instead of my. I wonder if that would work better than get screenshot.
More info. Base 64 encode.
I'm not sure what that exactly does.
More info. Generate hash. More info. URL encode. More info. Format file size.
So that's kind of cool. You can take a number and format it as a file size.
More info. Stop and output. More. Stop and output.
Stop and output. Stop the shortcut and output.
More info. Stop this shortcut. More info. Wait to return. More info. Run script over SSH.
Now this one's really neat because you can connect to a server and then run a script over SSH. This is a very useful shortcut action for working with servers.
More info. Open X callback URL.
X callback URLs are specific URLs to do callback things on. I don't exactly know how they work, but they're cool. I've heard podcasts over them, but
More nothing.
and I don't know what the nothing action does. I know it has a purpose more than nothing, but
More info. Vertical scroll bar. 7 page. Vertical scroll bar. 7
okay.
pages. 100. Text field. Text clear search field. But clear search field. Button. Scripting. But controls. Button. Device. Button.
Let's see what's under device.
Device. Get device details.
And I'm not going to go through all of these, folks, because there are too many to go through.
Get device details. Get battery status. Get current app. Get orientation. Get current focus. Get physical activity. Copy to clipboard. Copy to clipboard. Get clipboard. Show notification. Play sound. Vibrate device. More info. Network. Heading. Get current IP address. Rows 9 to 19 of 90. Get current IP address. Get network details. Get hotspot password. Set hotspot password. Reset cellular data statistics. Set wallpaper photo. Get all wallpapers. Switch between wallpapers. Get all. Switch between wallpaper. More info. More info. Button. More info. Button.
Okay.
Text field. Text field. Text field. Clear search field. But clear search field. Play music. Oh, send controls. Button. Controls. Set focus. Set silent mode.
So these are all the controls from the control center.
Set volume. Set flashlight. Set low power mode. Shut down. Set airplane mode.
Yes, there is an option for shutdown.
Set airplane mode. Set Wi-Fi. Set Bluetooth. Set cellular data. Set personal hotspot. Set VPN. Rows 12 to 27 of set appearance. Set airdrop receiving. Set VPN. Set orientation lock. Set brightness. Set true tone. Set night shift. Set always on display. Lock screen. Open app. Go to home screen. Show control center. Row 17 to 27. Set true tone. Set night shift. Set always on display. Lock screen. Open app. Go to home screen. Show control center. Take photo. Take video. Record audio. Take screenshot.
So you can record audio from this. So those are all different actions that you can use in the Shortcuts app. There are loads more, and your own apps add their own actions to the Shortcuts app, which to me is very incredible what's possible. Let's look at some automations, and then I want to take questions from folks.
Take screen. Take. Set true tone. Cancel. Button. Cancel. Search actions. Text field. Search actions. Techopolis. 3 of 3. Techopolis. Rows 1 to 15 of 104. Controls. Search actions. Text field. Text field. Is editing.
So
cancel. Button. Cancel. Search action. Search actions. Text. Dynamic island. Empty. Status bar item. Search actions. Text field.
one of the things that's happening here is it looks like an issue dismissing the top bar or the search.
Search actions. Text field. Button.
So I did found the search bar, double tap and held, and then drug my finger down to lower that drawer.
Actions. Add actions from done. But new shortcut done. Button. Done.
Because
Shortcuts.
that's
Back
kind of a popover that goes over the screen. So you can bring it down by doing the double tap and hold, and then drag down on the search area, and that will do that. So at the bottom, I'm going to go back, like I'm back at my
all shortcuts. Select button. Create shortcut. Search. Search field.
See, that was the problem earlier. We were grouped.
Tab bar. Automation. Tab. 2 of 3. Alert. Are you connecting a pair of end? Button. Waiting.
I was getting a phone call.
A pair of headphones. Button. Headphone. Other device. Button. Headphones. Other device. Button. Select the Techopolis. Heading. Heading. Button. Automation. Heading. Techopolis. Heading. Once at sunrise. 2 accessories. Button. Actions available.
So once at sunrise, 2 accessories. So that is an action that happens whenever
Add. Button. Shortcuts. Once at sunrise. 2 accessories. Button.
So
actions available.
At sunrise, do a thing with these accessories.
3 accessories. Button. Once at sunset. 3 accessories. Button. Actions available.
Okay. So let's go to add and let's see what we got.
Button. Add. Automation. Add. Button. Cancel. Button. Personal automation. An automation. Time of day. X. At 8:00 a.m. Weekdays. Button. Alarm. X. When my alarm is stopped. Button.
So you can do automations when your alarm is stopped.
X. When wind down starts. But alarm. Sleep. X. When wind down starts. Button. Arrive. X. When I arrive at the gym. Button. Leave. X. When I leave work. Button.
Saying X, that's example. Okay.
Before I commute. X. 15 minutes before I leave for work. Button. CarPlay. X. When CarPlay connects. Button. Email. X. When I get an email from Jane. Button.
So you can perform a shortcut when you get an email from somebody.
X. When I email message. X. When I get a message from mom. Button. Transaction. X. When I tap a wallet, card, or pass. Button.
So you can run a shortcut when you tap a wallet, card, or pass.
Watch workout. X. Apple Watch workout. X. When I start a workout. But Wi-Fi. X. When my iPhone joins home Wi-Fi. Button. Bluetooth. X. When my iPhone connects to AirPods. Button. NFC. X. When I tap an NFC tag. Button.
This one's really neat because you could do a thing when you touch an NFC tag, and you could buy those yourself for like pennies, like 50 cents per tag. So you could put them like under your in like your desk, and so you tap your phone on your desk, and it activates the NFC and runs a shortcut.
NFC. X. App. X. When weather is opened or closed. Button.
When weather or other apps are open or closed, do an action. So you may turn up the brightness or turn on Do Not Disturb when you open certain apps.
Airplane mode. X. When airplane mode is turned on. Button. Low power mode. X. When low power mode is turned off. Battery level. X. When battery level rises above 50%. Button.
So you can set if battery level rises above or goes below, you can do a shortcut.
X. Battery left charger. X. When my iPhone connects to power. Button. Do not disturb. X. When turning do not disturb on. Button. Reduce interruptions. X. When turning reduce interruptions on. Button. Play music. X. When turning play music on. Button. Driving. X. When turning driving on. Button. Personal. X. When turning personal on. Button.
So these are when you turn on different focus modes.
X. Personal. X. Work. X. When sound recognition. X. When my iPhone recognizes a doorbell sound. Button. Home automation. Heading. Create home automation. Create an automation that works for everyone in the home. Button.
Okay. So those are the different automations. Now, the neat thing about these is it's very customizable. I wish there were more automations, more things you could do with automations, but that's the options that we have. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share, and I want to see if anybody has any questions.
Let us know if you guys have any questions so far. This has been super interesting for me, and I think it's super cool to be learning about this and how to utilize shortcuts. I know I'll be making my phone do a lot of things with shortcuts now because it's quicker and a lot easier.
Yeah, there's a limitless possibility with these things.
I'm very curious. Maybe this is like a super advanced question, I don't know. But with the Shortcuts app, if I ever want to create an action that opens up the NHL app and launches a live radio stream for me, can I? Do you know?
You would have to. So the NHL would have to have their own shortcuts actions for that.
Oh man, they should, because that'd be so cool. I would go crazy. So I guess like if we want to use third-party apps, or if we want to make a shortcut to work with third-party apps, the key there is that the third-party apps would have to have shortcuts made for that.
Shortcuts actions, yes.
Actions, yeah. So maybe some do, maybe some don't. It's, I guess, worth looking depending on what app you want to use. Do you know of any immediate examples of a third-party app that does have shortcut actions?
I can tell you all the apps on my phone that do. Let's see.
Just out of curiosity for those who might want to investigate that further, you know?
Sure.
Because I guarantee you, before we started talking about all this, I had no idea that third-party apps would even have shortcut app,
For sure.
actions. I had no idea.
May I give you a good one?
Yeah, man, throw
Can
away
you hear me?
in anything.
Be My Eyes has one that actually you could say just describe with Be My Eyes. It'll actually take a picture of what's in front of your phone and describe it vividly to you, so you actually know what's right in front of you.
And boom, there we have it. There's one I did not know about, and I bet a lot of blind and visually impaired people who watch this stream later or who are watching now probably don't know. Like I said, guys, like I had to.
And actually, when I first invoked it with Siri, actually it actually asked me if I wanted to add it to my shortcut automatically. It did it for me, and then actually I just point my camera where I want to see, and it actually describes what's in front of me.
There you go. I'm gonna start doing that myself. Like I said, I consider myself a techie, and I had no idea I wasn't utilizing this shortcuts app to do more and quicker with my phone. So, yeah, that's incredibly awesome.
So, Audible has actions. There's an app called Aiko, A-I-K-O, that does audio transcription. It has actions. The Amazon app has actions. Bard Mobile has actions. Best Buy has actions. There's an app called Book Player. It has actions. The Books app, Buffer, Calculator has actions. Calendar, Camera. There's an app called Card Hop, which is a contacts management app. The Cash app has actions. Google Chat, ChatGPT, Let's see. Drafts, Facebook, FaceTime has actions, Fandango for movies, Fantastical, Files, Activity, Gemini has actions, the Google app. And let's see what's under Gemini. I'm curious. Gemini can open Gemini mic, talk live with Gemini, and type a Gemini prompt. So those are things that you could send without going into the Gemini app. Let's see what ChatGPT has. ChatGPT has start conversation, new chat configuration, voice mode. Okay, so let's see what else that's interesting. Health, the home app, IFTTT, if this then that has actions. Instagram, the journal app, just press record. Keynote, Kindle has actions. Let's see. Lift, magnifier, mail, maps, measure. My app Perspective Meetings has actions. Let's see. Messages, Facebook Messenger, Meta View has actions. Mona for Mastodon, music, Verizon has actions. News, notes, Notion, pages, parcel, passwords, phone, podcasts, Safari, reminders, settings. Settings has a lot of actions. Slack, Snapchat, SongShift, and Suno has actions as well. Teams, Microsoft To Do, the Transit app, Uber, Uber Eats, voice recorder or voice memos, wallet, watch, and weather. WhatsApp, X, and Zoom all have actions, and those are the main ones that I have on my phone. So there's so many things that, we just looked at the built-in actions. That's not even considering all of the ones that are in each of those apps categories that you can add.
So I have a
And this is
question.
Paul again. I just want to make sure you're aware that well, basically what I was trying to say is basically you can tie any of these actions to a gesture on your phone as well. Like I use swipe 2 fingers right on my screen, which switches from my hearing aids to my speakerphone.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, if I'm on an app or something like that, I want to play it for somebody that I'm trying to show something to, rather than come from my hearing aid, going at all the settings switches. All I do is swipe my fingers 2 fingers from the left-hand side of my screen to my right. It changes it. If I swipe it from my right side of my screen to the left with 2 fingers, it changes it back to my hearing aids.
Right.
And also, like ChatGPT, you want to go into voice mode and have a continued conversation with it. If you have one of the newer iPhone Pros, I have an iPhone Pro 15. They have it in also 16s, where you have that extra button on your phone. You can actually program that to use it in book a shortcut, so you can turn that into the action button into talking to ChatGPT on live mode, where you got that continued conversation. So.
And you can set up vocal shortcuts too, which will run a shortcut when you say a
Correct.
phrase.
With Siri.
And well, not even with Siri.
Mm-hmm.
Just you could say a phrase. So you could say, like I have one set up. Let's see if it'll work or if it's gonna not work. Turn on voiceover. It would help if I turned on my screen. Turn on voiceover. No, it's wanting to be finicky today. But I don't have to say Siri or hey, stop listening to me. I don't have to say the wake word to even activate the shortcut. It can just work based on what it hears without that on, which is really cool. They've and there's back
I
tap
didn't
where
know
you
it would
tap.
work without the wake word. So
Yeah, you have to. The interesting thing with vocal shortcuts too, y'all, is I could set up a vocal shortcut on somebody else's phone. So I could be like if I'm helping my mother, I could set up a vocal shortcut on her phone to turn on voiceover, and I could say turn on voiceover, and it would turn on voiceover on her phone, but she could say it and it wouldn't turn it on
Oh, that's interesting.
because it trains on your voice for those vocal shortcuts. It has you say the same thing 3 times.
That's interesting. I think somebody else had a question too. Maybe.
Yeah, I had a question. So,
Go ahead.
um, what's the difference between the automations and if in the normal shortcut you just use an if?
Ah, great question. Automations happen without you doing anything. The if happens on data that's going on inside of the running shortcut.
So I think in the automations there was something like, for example, like where you can get like if the battery is rises above or goes below a certain thing. But I mean,
Right.
like, what would be the difference between, for example, that and in the normal shortcut, if you do the like get the battery value, then you have an if that does something when the battery value is a certain
So
number.
the automation part of it tells the phone to do a thing if the battery does that thing. So the shortcut would only run if the battery is low below 50% or above 50%. But then you could use an if statement to say if the battery is low below 50%, say you need to charge your phone, or if it's above, say out loud, your phone's doing pretty good.
Okay, so that won't trigger automatically
Correct.
when the battery reaches that state. Okay.
Correct. That's why you need the automation. Now, to add a whole nother level of complexity to this, there's an app you can get called Push Cuts. And what that does is it can, based on things that happen on the internet, it can send a push notification to your phone, and then you can trigger the shortcut based on that.
You want to give us maybe an example of that?
So maybe you want to get a notification when 9 to 5 Mac has a new article. Then you could tap on the notification, the shortcut will run, and then get you the latest article of 9 to 5 Mac.
Okay, so through push cuts, if you want to get something from the internet, basically, you can generate a shortcut where it will. Are you saying where like it would send you a notification, you would push that notification and then it would run the shortcut, or are
Correct.
you saying?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying because
Yep.
that's
That's
cool.
exactly how it works.
So it's when does it send you the notification?
Well, it's based on whatever you set the trigger to be. So, for example, the trigger would be when there's a new article on 9 to 5 Mac.
Oh, I
Push
got you.
cut.
And then so you're through push cuts. You would say, for example, send me a notification when there's a new article on 9 to 5 Mac. You would get the notification. You would click it, and then it would run the shortcut to open it.
Exactly. Yep.
Got it. I just wanted to clarify so that people would, you know exactly what you're saying.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So, for example, you could say, send me a notification when Taylor Arndt goes live on YouTube.
I was about to ask if this worked with YouTube.
Yep, you could do that technically. There's ways that you can make that work. And then when that happens, then you can have a shortcut that shares the link to your Facebook, your Twitter, and other places. You could do all of those automations without having to write anything.
Oh yeah. That's really good to know. So you could even like when your favorite if you're wanting to immediately share something every time that it goes live or posts,
Yep,
you can make a shortcut where you could do that with a few taps and you don't even have to manually go do it all.
exactly.
And I'm sure there's probably add to calendar stuff, like all kinds of stuff like that too. Like, if you get a shortcut or a notification about an event being posted or something being scheduled, you could just click that, add it to your calendar, and,
Exactly.
you know, all of it in one go.
And remember, we showed 2 actions. There are people that make shortcuts with 20 or 30 actions to perform a task.
Yeah, you can make this as complicated as you want to be. I mean, you've even got a shortcut, don't you, that can tell you if your servers are online. I mean, I think,
I've
right? I
I've
think I
had
remember you saying
one.
that.
It doesn't work currently, but I have made one in the past. I even have one that will speak your network IP address if you want to know what that is.
I mean, my point being, you can make them as simple or as complex as
Exactly.
you want to, and I don't think a lot of our community realizes that you can do more than what's already just kind of in the app. You can
Right.
really expand it and get a lot more out of it. Like, I'm going to go figure out how to make one that will, every time I make a social media post to our foundation's page, will share it on my own page and elsewhere. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do lots of them. Anyway, you can
I
make it
mean,
as expansive as you want.
here's an example. I love reading comic books, and I mentioned this before, but the one that I created has 3 actions, only 3 actions, and it makes it to where I don't have to have eye fatigue reading Marvel comics. I mean, I just press the action button on my iPhone 16 Pro Max. It takes the screenshot and then reads it out loud, and it does a pretty good job of reading the different conversation bubbles correctly. And
So this would be, let's dive into this real quick because I know that there are a lot of low vision people who get eye fatigue. One of the biggest questions I get asked by people through my foundation work is, what do you know of that will help me on my iPhone to read the screen or to read something text heavy when I am struggling and can't, my eyes are tired? What types of shortcuts should they be availing themselves of? Maybe we could take a minute and deep dive into some specific ones that would help with something like that, like what you're talking about.
so another idea, one of the biggest things for web pages in Safari is there's not a real easy way to convert those to high contrast. Okay. And there is a way to make it to where, even with your action button, like the action button on your phone, you hold that down and you can run JavaScript on a web page and make it into high contrast. I'll be making one of those shortcuts again pretty soon. So
Is that going to be in the
beyond the gallery, yep,
yes, on the gallery dot app?
beyond the gallery dot.
Beyond, yep, beyond the gallery dot app. And so guys, go check that out because he'll be making one of those for you if you struggle with that.
Because what you'll be able to do is you can, and this can get it even more complicated than what we've explained. There are programs like that are you can write Python and you can run your Python code from a shortcut. Their shortcuts has built-in integration with JavaScript, so you can run JavaScript code. You can add your shortcut to the share screen. So I could basically be in the Files app and I can send a PDF to a shortcut and have it grab all the text out of the PDF because I don't like PDFs. Um, I could basically have a convert audio to text and have it transcribe the audio. There's so many possibilities. And I think the biggest thing that people have a hard time with is, okay, I have hundreds of actions. What should I do? You know, what should I create? And really, it comes back to just like what we talked about with any programming. The programming will only have the use that you need it to when you have a problem to solve. For example, my problem was I need to be able to read my comics without eye fatigue. How can I do that? Right? How can I accomplish that? Well, I used those actions and came up with something. So it's all based on what problem are you solving by doing what you're doing, and that's the best advice I can give you. Yep. So I'm kind of
So,
curious, what ideas of shortcuts do you guys have?
well, I'm trying to just as a test make one that when the battery drops below a certain percentage, it's well, the idea was to make it play a sound, but I'm not yet entirely sure because I see like in the automation, like after saying like battery falling below
Hmm.
20%, um, then you say next, and then there's options where you can choose something like show notification or speak text, but double tapping on that doesn't actually seem to do anything. So I'm not sure how to continue from that point.
So what I would recommend doing is create your shortcut first. Create the shortcut in the shortcuts tab, and then pick from that shortcut when you create your
Ah,
automation.
I see. Okay.
And I don't want to jump off on a huge rabbit trail, but I'm just going to ask in general, if I want to make shortcuts for my Apple Watch, is it going to function largely the same, or
Largely
is
the
it different?
same. Again, apps, there may not be apps that run on the Apple Watch,
Sure,
but
but out of what's available, right? Like,
right,
out of what's there, is the process for making shortcuts going to be similar to what we're talking about?
absolutely.
Perfect. So if you guys are like me and you have an Apple Watch, I just got one a couple days ago. I had one a very long time ago, but now I have a new one. If you guys want to delve into that, that's a similar process as far as you know what apps are available on the Apple Watch and creating shortcuts for them. So that's exciting.
And you can add shortcuts to your home screen. You can even so you can have a shortcuts widget or add individual shortcuts to your home screen as well that look like app icons.
Oh yeah, that's a very helpful thing to mention. I think I've forgotten about that. So I think
I
too. Sorry, go ahead.
I have a couple of questions actually, maybe
Go for it.
three or four. Let's go. So I will start with this small update about these vocal shortcuts. I think after a certain 18 update, Apple broke it. So it's no longer working as it was advertised. Just FYI. And my questions are because now earlier there was this Siri functionality where you can convert currency by simply asking Siri as like how much is this number of dollars in rupees or whatever. But now when you ask something like that, it takes you to ChatGPT. So is there a way that we can sort of trigger this using a shortcut?
I'm sure you could create it. I don't see that as a built-in option in shortcuts to convert currencies. But believe it or not, one of the things that I do is I go to Chat GPT and I ask, "Hey, I'm trying to build this as a shortcut on Apple platforms. How can I do this?" And a lot of times it gives you good information on how to do that.
I was going to point that out too for those who are watching who may be wondering, well, how can I try to create a shortcut to do fill in the blank that hasn't been mentioned yet? I was going to get into that you could use AI to help you script one and give you directions maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. AI is never perfect, but I certainly am looking at several things I want to create, and I'm using AI to help me create a couple of shortcuts, like right now as we speak. So that is definitely a helpful tip, for sure.
And one thing I'll mention, if you can register for an account and sign up at Beyond the Gallery and post the shortcuts you create. I would love to see what people create. It's one of my passions. Shortcuts are a passion of mine, guys, because it is creativity without a lot of the hard work, right? And I pretty much approve any shortcuts that are added. I've only not approved two, and one of them got around paywalls on websites, so that's a definite no. And one of them had bad language in the title, so that was a definite no. Um, Everything else has been approved, you know. So we would love your shortcuts on there.
Uh, One other question is that with the push cuts app, is it possible to monitor multiple web sources? I'm looking at a use case like this actually. Now, you may have heard recently there have been these seismic activity, earthquakes going on in certain parts of the world. So, if I ask Pushcart to monitor certain specific news sites and ping me if there's news on such earthquakes, is it possible for it to do so that I can disseminate
I
a
am
message or
honestly
something?
not sure, but another service that's pretty well priced, I think IFTTT can do that as well.
Okay. What is
Um,
it like? I mean, what is it like?
if this then that, um, basically you could create actions. If there's a new post on this website, send, do something, and then that could either integrate with push cuts or run a shortcut on your phone. So
So
And
it's
where
a
can
paid
people
app.
find the IFTTT? Where can they find the paid service or the kind of the app or the website you're talking about specifically if they want to go look it up?
IFTTT.com.
Yep,
If this then that.
IFTTT.com.
Yep.
I myself am going to be going and looking at that, um, because I will fully admit I don't know much about it. But if you want to check out what he's talking about, to look at what you could do with that website or service, that's where you would find it, ifttt.com.
And one other thing is, I'm just coming up with another use case. So you have this Apple Watch with cellular enabled, and you have the iPhone. So there is this certain security checkpoint where I have to keep my phone and go. But they might not have any issue me wearing the watch. Never know. But however, there was this feature phone some time back that I could send a text message with a specific code from another phone so that it shuts down. Is it possible to create this functionality because the shutdown option is also there? Is it possible to fetch something from a text message?
I do not believe so.
Oh, okay.
And Apple is very big on asking for confirmation before it does an action like shutdown.
Oh, so it doesn't shut down. Okay.
Not immediately, I don't believe.
I think it's probably to help prevent stuff from getting stolen and then turned off or something
Right.
like that. It's got to do with, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, I think it, in that particular case, it has to do with like theft protection.
Right.
Like to keep someone from turning off your phone and walking away with it and you never getting it back. I
Well, there's
think.
that, but there's also,
It's
maybe
findable after power off, right?
yes.
Plus, you have this Face ID thing. If the phone is stolen for some time, you can't, I mean, do anything without the Face ID.
Yeah, there's several options there, but the biggest one, The shutdown is to speed up the process for shutting down.
Okay. So in what kind of use cases do people, use this shutdown function available there?
It depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, there's so many different use cases. I like to use it for I like to use shortcuts for being creative. Um, in fact, apps like Castro and others use shortcuts to export podcasts from the podcast app. You can grab all of your podcasts. You can grab music from Apple Music. You can do a lot of different things with shortcuts. And probably pretty soon, they're going to be integrating Automator on Mac into shortcuts. So they'll be combining both of those.
So does it mean we can automate something on Mac by running a shortcut on the iPhone, something like that?
Not quite. But you can run the same mostly the same shortcuts on Mac that you run on your iPhone, and vice versa.
I think what you're saying, Michael, is that there's an app on the Mac called Automator, and
Right.
it makes different shortcuts and actions possible on the Mac. And if I understand right, what you're saying is soon Apple will combine both of those apps into one app
On the Mac, yes.
on the
Exactly.
Mac for the Mac, so that way they'll be
Less
both the same.
confusion.
Less confusion, yeah.
Also, this I noticed certain actions like set hotspot password, get hotspot password, things like that, which actually has a chance of creating vulnerabilities. Have you played with them? Are there any permission processes when you set them up?
Not that I know of. I don't believe there's any permission requirement, so you can change that, at will with a shortcut. Um, so that is kind of nice. The um, and also one of the things too that's cool. There's an app called A Shell, A dash Shell, and it gives basically a terminal on your iPhone, kind of like what you have
Oh,
on the
that's
Mac,
cool. That's
and you
cool.
could run shell commands on your from the shortcuts app in that app.
As
Oh,
in,
wow.
does it work like bash? Is that the
Yes.
same syntax?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. I'm
hmm
learning constantly now.
Oh, you all should hear about the app that a friend of mine told me about in a podcast that brought me down a rabbit hole this morning.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you can't just leave that dangling.
Um, it is called Tail, Tail, Scale. And what it does is it lets you create a network with all of your devices, no matter where they are in the world. So theoretically, I could be halfway across the world and still get back to my AI training computer, log in with remote desktop because I can easily get to the IP address and train AI no matter where I am. Apple had a feature called Back to My Mac that did a very similar thing for Macs. And this kind of does that. And it's uh, free for 100 devices per user.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be using this.
Yeah. A friend of mine just kind of name dropped that at the end of one of their podcasts. And I texted him. I said, okay, you cannot leave me hanging like that. You have got to explain that kind of stuff more before you dangle that carrot.
Just like I made you do because you were
Yep.
dangling the carrot.
Yep. So
So that
yeah, it's a neat app. And it even has shortcuts actions.
okay. So is it something a little extensive than handoff?
Say again? Oh yes, it's definitely
Okay.
different than handoff because it doesn't. It's basically creating your own VPN.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to investigate this for
so
sure.
even if you're on cellular or Wi-Fi, it doesn't matter. It just creates its own tunnel, is it?
Yep, it just creates your own network, your own IP addresses, and so you can get back to your devices no matter where you are.
Oh, that's interesting. So, I mean, just this is right off on the top of my head. Is it possible to use this extension to fetch a stream from a CCTV camera and get the AI to sort of describe if something happens, some trigger happens or something like that?
Well, I mean, that's a bit different than what this app does, but there is a system called Ubiquity, and they have a thing called the AI key, which will watch, which you can add to your network that's using Ubiquity technology, and any Ubiquity cameras will send information to the AI key and log every event that happens on camera to AI and convert it to text.
That's cool. Thanks a lot for that one.
That is very cool. Um, I know we're getting to the end of our time, but before we end our time, does anyone, we have 6 minutes left, but does anyone have any questions, or does anyone have any shortcuts that they would like to create, or types of shortcuts, or that they want to know more about, or questions with Pushcut or any of these other things we've been talking about? Or Taylor, does anyone have any comments over on YouTube?
No, the only comment I did get is somebody was asking how to have the JAWS on your iPhone. I think they're referring to like the synthesizer, and Eloquence is available for iPhone. So it's pretty easy to enable.
Yes. So because I thought the same thing, and then I had to remind myself, oh, that's eloquence.
Yep. I want to mention one last
Sorry, I
thing.
muted myself. I had to sneeze. Just for people that don't know, real quick, do we want to quickly talk about how to get eloquence on your iPhone if you want that?
I can just mention that it's under the list of voices on your
That's right.
iPhone. They've split it up now so that all the voices for Eloquence are mixed in with the other voices, which is interesting. So, I looked for Reed, which is the default Eloquence voice.
Yeah, so I now remember that too. I just wanted us to mention it for those who may be wondering, well, how is that a Jaws voice on his iPhone? It's Reed, and it's under the voices, under like the voiceover settings, and they're all mixed in there, so you can get any of the eloquence ones to come up. I would imagine too, you could probably create a shortcut to change to different voices you like on.
I think that might actually be possible. Because you could change almost every device setting on your iPhone in shortcuts. We didn't even go through that.
Yeah, we didn't go through all of that, but you should. Settings has its own giant category,
Yes, it does.
and I believe there's voiceover actions under there. And if I mean, I would even think that if you, even if it's not, connected to a voice that you want, I would think you could still come up with and create a shortcut of your own to, like, upon your voice prompt or your action or your, basically your shortcut prompt, you could change the iOS voice over voice or language probably if you didn't want to use the rotor, you know.
Right.
Okay, here's a question, sorry, that I just thought of. When you're making shortcuts for the phone to read text, can you define which voice you want that text read in?
Yes, the speak text action, you can, if you remember, the last thing on there was voice,
Oh,
and
perfect, yeah.
you can pick whatever voice you want.
There you go.
Uh, the one thing I want to mention too, the reason why we wanted to do this is because if you can master building your own shortcuts, that's the first step towards coding.
It
Because
sure is.
you're defining actions and putting things in a step-by-step progressive order and making things work together to solve a problem. And that is everything that's involved with programming, with writing code. So think of it that way. Think of it as you're building something that was not there before to solve a problem.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people in our community too don't realize how much shortcuts can help with accessibility and with doing things that may take. I mean, because the great thing is shortcuts, totally customizable, every device, depending on the user and person, right? Like your shortcuts might work different for you than mine, you know? Like if we have preferred actions or ways of doing things that we want to automate, you know? And that's the beauty of it. Like if, depending on what level of voiceover screen reader user you are, or Zoom text user, you're not Zoom text, Zoom feature user you are, or wherever you are in your technology journey as a blind and visually impaired person, or even as a sighted person who's watching this, shortcuts and programming your device to do things for you with shortcuts, they are exactly user friendly to you, no matter if you're a beginner or advanced, no matter if you have used an iPhone for a month or for 10 years. It's exactly user friendly to you, to what you want to do, and can make your life a whole lot easier as far as your ability to use your device. So I know Taylor's got another meeting coming up at noon, and I actually have something else I've got to get ready for. But I hope everybody has enjoyed this, and if you have questions, feel free to comment on the YouTube stream.
Yep.
And Michael, hopefully we can do even more of these, because this has been
Absolutely.
super cool. If you are watching this for the shortcuts, but you want to know more about our Learn to Code Tuesdays, you can register for the Zoom, or you can bookmark Taylor's YouTube channel to watch these every Tuesday. We usually do free code camp, HTML, and CSS, but this is a Learn to Code thing, so we can do pretty much anything that there's crowd demand for us to cover. Right, Michael? I mean,
have to.
so
Absolutely.
yeah. So come
Good.
join
I
us
have to
again.
run. So,
Yes.
all right, y'all. Should I end the meeting or do you want me to?
I would say let's end the meeting for now, and we will see everyone next Tuesday at 10
See you
o'clock
guys
a.m.
next week.
Central Time.